but I didn't do the backdoor thing.
What's the back door? I want to know that.
Oh, don't get him started.
Like a next movie.
We're about to go live.
No, we're live already. We're live already, and I know we're live. I know we're live, but I'm okay with that. That's
how I like to jump into these ones. So we don't even do. I think that first one when we was doing it was like everyone straight up, back up. Oh, so my name is blah blah.
Stiff in it, yeah. You can't be too stiff in it.
Let's just have a chat, and I just press live when I feel like it's time to go live.
No, but that film is outstanding as far as I'm concerned.
I'm watching this afterwards.
Outstanding. Oh my goodness!
We can ask the question, guys. Yeah. Why is there so much hate for Coming to America too? Because I enjoy it.
It's dead.
Oh my god, that's
No, it's not. You guys are hating.
Do you know?
Don't watch it.
Let me tell you what Coming to America 2 is. Someone sat down, looked at what Dave Chappelle's done in the last few years, looked at what everybody having their nostalgic success and said, we can make a lot of money off Eddie Murphy. That's what someone did. And then they said, by the way, let's just invite everybody that's black into the film.
Oh, that point is true.
There's no reason for Morgan Freeman to be in there. There's no reason for Gladys Knight. There's no reason. Tiana Taylor don't even
no.
It was bad. I do not recommend that film.
It had one or two funny moments, but it was just a joke, bro.
The first one was
excellent. Oh, I didn't watch number one.
First one's a classic.
The first one's sick.
The best.
Hold on. Who said they haven't watched number one?
Me.
Wow, that's shocking.
Am I cancelled
Who's
now?
that, Daniela? Daniela, that's shocking.
It's not Daniela. Daniela's definitely seen it. Daniela must have seen it.
That's really bad.
Daniela's definitely.
Can't
hear your sound, Daniela.
Maybe on mute.
No, she's not even on mute. It's just not.
That's when you're at work. It's like you're on mute and you're just talking, having a big meeting. Like, sorry, you're.
That's when they say the most fire point as well. I can't remember it after that.
I can't even say it again.
I don't know how I can see everyone on one.
Oh, if you're on your phone, it's not going to work, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on your phone.
But it's more clearer. My laptop's not clear and I didn't want to do that.
That's what I've done. See, I've messed up.
Yeah, because I can't get to see who's who. I'm kind of on Lewis at the moment.
You can look.
On your phone, you can swipe across, I swear.
Yeah. I'll stick with
Daniela still can't. You might have, it is Daniela. You might have, your input and output might be.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Back now.
The headphones and then I took them out.
Engineer Jonas would have to come out and help out Handy Jonas. Handy.
Bro, Engineer Jonas Engineer Jonas is too busy watching Coming to America too, bro. He ain't got time for this, bro. That's it.
No. I've watched the first one like 3 times, but the second one I watched it once and I was like, it's above satisfactory. That's what I'll say. It's above satisfactory.
No, it's under satisfactory.
Put it this way. I'm glad it was free. Put it that way. I'm glad it was free.
I agree.
Bruh.
Could you imagine going to the cinemas and spending your money on that? I'll be vexed.
That's what when I saw Star Wars in cinema, the last Star Wars film, I was vexed. I went to cinema and watched Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
But that's why Judas and the Black Messiah, I was so comfortable paying for it. I was like, I don't mind. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, Coming to America 2, I think we knew how it was going to be.
Let's be honest, man.
It was just.
It's true. You could kind of tell.
Just randomly, 30 years later, you're back again. Get out of here, bro. Get out.
Beverly Hills Cop 4.
No, that's things like that. You just need to leave it alone. Do you get what I'm saying?
Leave the trilogy. It's like Toy Story. They ruined Toy Story with the 4th one.
Yes, I haven't watched the 4th one still, but I heard it's a cause for tears.
No, it's
not. The 3rd one
was nice.
The 3rd one.
Maybe it was the 3rd one then. I don't know.
The 3rd one that's a great film.
I stopped after the 2nd one still.
Just still got to try, innit? See what they can do, try and make some money.
I reckon it's a tax break thing, Ask Mike, it's a finance thing. I reckon like they do it because obviously then they can say we spent this money, therefore, we have higher expenses, so they pay less tax. That's what it is. They know the movie's gonna bomb. They don't care. They're just doing it as an expense, bro. So they balance it, so their P&L on that. It's always for the P&L, bro.
That's what they're trying to do. That's why Rick Ross used his house, isn't it?
Yeah, bro.
When they get to and stuff, boom.
Yeah.
So
I was like, what the hell is this guy doing here? That's what I was thinking. Fully, I was like, I know this guy from music and music only.
I heard he had an accent as well or something.
Yeah.
I tried to have an accent, didn't they?
He's my boy. No, Rick Ross is a legend. No, Rick Ross.
But but Eddie Murphy's accent's a hot mess. We knew that from the jump. But Eddie Murphy's a hot
100%.
mess. What's it called? James Earl Jones is a hot mess. All of them's a hot mess, bro.
No, James Earl Jones has a good accent. Let's not lie now. He does. He had a good accent in the first one, at least.
You know what? We've had a lot of fun. We're going to continue to have the fun because we're trying to jump.
Finance fun.
Yeah, let's have some finance fun, some business fun. See where we all are. So today, I think this is actually our 6th episode now of the Finesse My Finance podcast. Today, the title is called "Stop. It's Time for a Review," and I thought it was always good to do it around this time. I know where was in terms of work and business, you always do a review after the first quarter, so you can predict what's going to happen for the second quarter. So I thought, why don't we do it in our lives as well? And we're all in different areas in finance or business. So I thought it'd be good to hear what you guys are saying. But before we jump into that, can everyone introduce themselves? Your name and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hey guys, I'm Andrea, also known as She Talks Finance UK. I specialize in personal and business protection. I am a finance manager. For me, it's very important that I am educating others about, having protection, the right protection in place, which is very, very important. It's all about helping others and securing the bag.
Wicked.
Hi guys, I'm Daniela. I am the founder of She's the Boss. I support ambitious entrepreneurs to build and grow profitable, sustainable, systems-driven businesses. My main focus is around vision development, systems and processes, as well as growth strategy.
Hi, I'm Bemi Kasanga from The Penny Drops, which is a financial education platform aimed to help young people and older people manage their finances and improve their financial literacy. And I have a blog that I post on once a week. And by day, I'm a finance controller working in property and real estate.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonas Andrew Phillip. I'm a public speaker, workshop facilitator, and event host. And I want to say, I inspired to do this, I inspired to do that, but I haven't got a fancy little title to say. But what I know is that I have a vision that is bigger than myself, and I will empower others to have that same vision that is bigger than whatever field that they're in. So that's what I do. And yeah.
Come on.
Love that, Jonas. Yeah, so my name is Lewis Howell, co-director of a social enterprise called Revolution Hive, which equips young people for life beyond the classroom, doing work within the education sector. And I also am the founder of another organization called 7PK, which exists to ensure that we go from people not only having equality, but having equity within our society by working with corporate, social enterprises and charities to help people from disadvantaged situations to be able to accelerate their journey within society. And that's me.
Wicked. I think everyone knows who I am. Chai, I think sorry, my brother just came into the house, but the way he broke through the door is like someone was coming in.
Brother, he knew that there was going to be some knowledge landing today. He said, I must get home. He said, what? She talks finance. She's the boss UK, the penny drops, and Jonas. Get out of here. Let me get home.
He threw me off, I was like, what's going on? Like,
but these times when Michael's running a session, he stays outside. Imagine that.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, man. So everyone knows who I am. Hopefully anyone that's watching. Obviously, we've been running KBM. We just have a lot of fun, to be honest with you, doing a few podcasts with different professionals, different guests, and also with the young people as well. That's our focus at the moment. Their financial education and building wealth through them. And then obviously we've got our songs, which you're in for a treat tonight, 8 o'clock, the release of the next song. It's all coming out, 8 o'clock. It's already been, you can set your, now he's trying to be quiet as he comes down the stairs. Sorry. You can set your reminders, but I'll be sending the links out as well at the end of the show. But today, like I said, today's called Stop. It's time for a review. The first thing I wanted to do was just kind of see if we all agree that it is good to have like a review every now and then, like to kind of just reevaluate what you're doing, seeing if you're still on course to do whatever you're doing, like business-wise, even just in life as well. But what's your thoughts on like having a review And how often do you think it should be done?
For me personally, so last year I done a vision board for the whole year, but it kind of changed. Kind of what I was doing kind of changed a little bit. So for me, what I've done this year is I've got a vision board for each like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And that's just to see like what I've executed. So just breaking it up, I think it's a little bit more better, just in case things change. Sometimes, you know, not everything that you have on your vision board in January necessarily is what you want. So for me, I've got a vision board for work, and I have a vision board for my personal life as well.
I like that, actually, having two separate bits of the life and for. So what does the one for life have and then the one for work have? What's the difference?
So the work one is obviously the background I'm in is sales driven. So there's targets that I want to reach financially. Also I've built a strong team. So I've got targets with regards to my team and what I want them to do and how many people I need to have in by a certain amount of time to reach certain financial targets as well. So it's very much more around the sales side of things. And obviously the coaching and mentoring side of things as well. The personal side is more about my kids, property, you know, that I want to acquire. There was a car on there, which I got for the Q1. And yeah, it was, thank you. Oh, this nearly dropped. Thank you. So yeah, just little things like that. But I do definitely find it easier to split it up. I think it makes me a little bit more focused in that sense.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
What else?
I definitely agree. It's so important to like take stock with what you've done and what you are doing, because it can be so easy to kind of get caught up in the day-to-day life and the day-to-day hustle and bustle, and you don't realize what you've done and what you've achieved. So it's always good to kind of review what you've done, see, okay, what have I done good at, and then obviously hopefully you can replicate that and continue that in the future. And what you've messed up on, it's there to kind of to teach you, for you to learn from it as well. So it's so important, especially out, as you said, like at work, we do it naturally. Like you feel, okay, we have to review, how did we do at work? What did the last quarter, how did that impact us? And we forget that actually we should also be applying it to our day-to-day lives. Like we can't give all to work and then forget about our own personal journey, our personal finances, etc. So yeah, it's so important just to have a look and see what you've done and encourage yourself, because sometimes you can get really upset and think, oh, I didn't achieve that goal, I didn't achieve this goal. And then you kind of get discouraged, but actually reviewing it, you think, actually, oh, I did all right, actually. It wasn't that bad. And maybe you didn't, maybe you did mess up, but at least you can improve and stuff. So it's so important to do a review in all aspects of life, money, everything, really.
Yeah,
no, definitely. I agree.
I agree also. I try to kind of do a review at the end of each month, but then as we come towards the end of each quarter, then I'll do kind of a bigger review and look back through the other reviews that I've done and start to kind of look at the lessons learned specifically and how I'm going to incorporate them to make sure that in the next quarter and the next month that I'm able to do better and kind of hit my targets. I generally have a 3-year vision with 12-month goals for each, and then I break that down again into each quarter and really try to relentlessly make sure that I'm hitting the targets for each quarter. And really my kind of business and life goals are kind of converged into one, really. So if I hit the business goals, then I hit the life goals. If I hit the life goals, I'm going to hit the business goals. So at the moment, one of the key things for me has been getting fit, making sure that I'm working out and training so I get energy, because the more energy I've got, then the better I'm going to be able to perform in business. So the two things.
No, that's really good. I've definitely incorporated working out as well, because I think I was so focused on work and on that side of things that I let go of the health side of things. And of course, guys, we know health is wealth. So for me, it's super important that because I was literally a gym fanatic 2 years ago, and like literally just everything that I had done before, lost loads of weight, I'm literally starting again, and it just doesn't make any sense. So it's, for me, I really struggle with the balance. So that's something that I think is probably number one. Like financially, yeah, we all want to get more money, But let's just think about the balance of life. You need the balance, man.
But also,
But
if you
can you
can't do
even
it
get
on
the
your
balance?
own, then get help. So I can't do it on my own. And last year I sat and ate and ate and ate and ate and ate, put on a stone. I was just sitting around being miserable. I was working, but from a health perspective, I wasn't doing anything. So I've got a personal trainer now. He comes to my house three
Oh,
times a
amazing.
week.
Oh,
And
that is
he's
amazing.
got me. Like, I've lost the stone, thankfully, and now I'm
Oh,
sitting.
that's really good. Well done.
Love it.
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Yeah,
Love it. Love
Congratulations,
it.
Some blood,
Daniela.
sweat, and tears. Trust
Oh,
me. And that man, shout out to Antonio because I cuss him every single week.
Yeah, I cussed
Sure
my one
goes
as well.
I'm sure goes, why this girl won't leave me, but it
cussing.
works. Yeah. So if you can't do
Yeah.
it, see how you can work with other people that can
Mm.
hold you accountable as well. I think is important.
I
yeah.
think it's important. Sometimes you've got to hear it hard as well. My one's really, really mean. I've only done it for about 3 weeks, but I keep flopping him. I've been with him for a year. He doesn't know whether I'm going to turn up or not.
That's why man comes to my house. I tried to cancel the other week and I was sat on the sofa
God.
eating.
He's
He
waiting
was at my
for you.
front door. Like, what's going on? Get up. Let's go. I was so upset.
I like this, you know. We've had a car and we've had fitness goals in the space of the first 10 minutes. This is
Yeah.
learned. This is the right environment to be in.
No, that's
100%.
good. No, it's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
My-
I agree too. And this is the thing because this year I've obviously come out of my apprenticeship. First job, I was in my first job at 17, just finished it now. So I was just
love it.
adapting to my new sorry.
So I love it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So I just been adapting to the new stuff. And usually I can't lie, I do a weekly review. So I have a review on Sundays after I cook. Yes. Black men can cook. Yes, black men can cook. Come on. We're not trash. We're not trash. So
That's a whole nother
Jonas.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast.
No one didn't say when black men can't cook.
I've heard
Who said that?
I've heard some blasphemy recently. Like, I got to stick up. I've heard
Oh,
some
that's
people say
right.
black men don't cook for themselves. I'm like, Jonas can cook at
I
least.
can't wait to jump in a second, but go on.
So, so yeah, you do usually do weekly reviews, and then that will turn into obviously monthly reviews, and then quarterly reviews, everything like that. So I didn't do a yearly review or many reviews last year because I was still getting used to learning about personal development and entrepreneurship. But now I know how vital it is, and I think with my goal, I know with my goals, I have goals for my personal self and business as well. So they are separate, but they are kind of intertwined at the same time because if I'm winning in personal life, then I'll probably be winning in business. If I'm winning in business, I'll be winning in personal life. And it's been this year's been quite slow because obviously I'm just adjusting to the life of an entrepreneur because I am starting to get paid, but a lot of people would still say you're not an entrepreneur. Yeah, I think I am, but that's another discussion for another day. And yeah, I'm just getting used to it really. And yeah, it's been really, really fun and interesting. So yeah.
I'm happy to jump in quickly as well, which is to say, I want to come back to the cooking thing in a second as well, because I know it's off topic, but man don't care. But what I was going to say, yeah, the review thing's interesting because I think I look at quarterly reviews quite interestingly. So there's two things about it. One, there's the numerical part, which is obviously based on the goals you may have set yourself for the 12-month period. And naturally, you want to look at your numerical data and go, okay, based on the number of sales I made, if you're in business or if your profession requires you to look at that, based on the number of appointments made or whatever it may be, you've got your numerical data, right? How many times you actually did something, how many times you closed something, how many times you completed something. But then also you've got to look at the story that you tell yourself within that. So I like to do my reviews to consider, okay, in the last 90 days, what processes have or haven't worked for me? You know, where are certain relationships doing well and not doing so well? And what is it that I need to adjust within the rhythm of those relationships? So is it that I need to meet this person more often, meet this person less often? Do we need to be using a different platform to communicate, to hold our information, to be able to use as our reference point? So I try and look at not only the numerical, but also the anecdotal stuff that focuses more on like, okay, what processes, what systems, what relationships, stuff like that. And then the second part in terms of my reviews, especially a Q1 review, is I genuinely believe that goals are not achieved based on a standardized, you do this in Q1 and then repeat that 3 times to get to your goal by the end of Q4. I genuinely believe that Q1, you'll probably do a third of what you wanted to do, But then somehow in Q2, you do 60% of what you wanted to do. Then Q3 and Q4, somehow you do 150% of what you wanted to do, and you hit your goal by the end of the year. So it's about being okay with, okay, I wanted to do this by the end of March. But if I did a third of that, might I still be on track? Because actually there's going to be an exponential growth curve that occurs here, and it's going to pick up after July the 1st. Do you get what I'm saying? And that might be what ends up happening. Or in most of our opinions, it's probably September the 1st, where suddenly it just something happens and you just go bang. So I think that Q1 review is very interesting because, as I say, I think I focus a little bit more on the processes and the systems and try and get a feel for what things are in like conversation. So from a business standpoint, I look at it and I go, most business deals always take twice as long to actually happen than you want them to. So if I start chatting to them in January, they say we want to start this in March. I tell myself this will start in June. I know this will start in June because I just know something's going to happen. Everyone's going to drag heels and it's going to start late. Do you know what I mean? So I look at it like if the conversations are happening between January and March, that's enough for me because I know that come Q2, Q3, maybe even Q4, that's when it will really happen. So let me get all my processes right. Let me make sure I can balance right. And then we're good to go. So that's how I look at the Q1 review. And actually on that point, well, it's not on that point, but I just wanted to sound smart. Cooking, right? So basically the reason why I jumped on the podcast so late, because I was at my girlfriend's house today and I said, rah, like obviously because I cook on a Sunday for the week, similar to what Jonas just said. I cook on a Sunday for the whole week, but I hadn't cooked. Like, hadn't been with my girlfriend on a Sunday and cooked together for time for some reason. Like, we've cooked together, but it's never been like the Sunday one for the whole week. So I was sitting there on Friday, like, nah, bro, man needs to do a strong cook in it and like just let her know the levels are still high, fam. Don't play with me in the kitchen, innit? So man made like 4 dishes. You get what I'm saying? And because I'm vegan, everything here is not gonna sound as lit as if you lot had it if you're meat eaters and that. But man made a lentil bolognese. Then made an aubergine stew, and don't get twisted, man put the hard food in there. So man had yam and dashin and boiled dumpling going in there as well. Then made homemade falafel from scratch, homemade falafel from scratch, and a next salad as well. So listen, everything's lit this week, fam. Don't play. If I bring you the bag here,
big up Lewis.
Let me not take all the credit. I was head chef. I was head chef, but I let my girlfriend sous chef. We take turns in it. So if she's head chefing, I have to sous chef. Today I was head chef. She was sous chef. She's asking me, babe, don't you wanna? I said, excuse me, you're sous chef today. About asking me, am I gonna put this in there? I said, wait, don't ask me what's going in the pot, fam. I will tell you what's going in the pot. How about that? You get what I'm saying? But when it's her turn, I just better stay quiet. That's it. I better stay quiet. I can't be asking no questions.
You know what? This is the Alicia Keys moment. What was he talking about? Alicia Keys came out of nowhere.
I know. But it's part of the review, innit? It was like today was an opportunity to review our last 3 months, innit? Whilst we were cooking for 3.5 hours. You get what I'm saying? 3.5 hours for cooking, so we can review life. Do you get what I'm saying? So
And I think it's important not to wait until the end of the quarter to review. Like every day should be opportunity to review 100%. And just to see how well you've done and what you've achieved during the day, because everyone's achieved something. Like no day is like wasted or useless or pointless. So don't wait till Q1, don't wait till the 31st of March to do a review, but do a daily review. Just kind of see what you've done and how you can improve and how you can change. Really, I think that's key in every situation.
I was actually going to bring this up later, but there's a good point to say it, which is that there's a book called 12 Week a Year, and it is so good because if you treat each quarter as a year, so like you see the same goals you'd have for the year. Imagine just saying to yourself, I want to achieve that in the next 90 days. The way you treat each week is like you treat a month, and the way you treat each day is like you treat a week. And there's something about being that intentional that your productivity goes through the roof. So I've noticed that for myself since I've started using my journal, which I started using years ago, and this is before I even knew about the book, The 12-Week Year. But when I started using my journal, they were like, your journal only lasts 90 days. And I used to think, why do they do that, bro? Don't most journals, if I'm spending £35 on a journal, bro, it better last 12 months, bro. But then I deeped it that, when you're intentional for 90 days, when you've got 0 white space in this, and you're intentional, like the things you can get done is rage. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm a big believer in that 12-week year still, because if you do treat each quarter, and that's not to say you don't look beyond, but I genuinely try and just look to the next quarter now. I know my goals for the end of the year, and obviously I still do it. Obviously, I know Mike's on the thing. So Mike, I do have a 12-month cash flow forecast. Don't worry. I'm not that blasé. I do have a 12-month cash flow forecast with a P&L and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't worry. Everything's patterned. But I genuinely do just look to the next quarter as it relates to activity. Do you get what I mean? And I just think when you're intentional for 90 days, you start going, rah, them goals that I set for the end of the year weren't even big enough, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's real. It's real.
That's
For
it.
me,
Yeah.
I'm similar to that in terms of like my yearly goals and stuff like that. They're not usually financial, to be honest with you. It's more like the financial ones are the long-term ones. So I won't say something like by the end of this year I want to bring in this much or something. I want this to be my income or whatever. I would say, but my goals would be more like, okay, but in 5 years' time, I want to own, let's say 10 properties or something. That would be the goal. So what I'm doing each week, each quarter, is leading me to that.
Mm.
And that's the kind of thing. So I don't really say, okay, if I'm going to do that, that means that for this year, I need to make sure that I have this much money so I can get this and that, blah, blah, blah. I don't do my goals based on money or anything like that. But I think that comes into play, like we were saying, when we're actually thinking about how do we achieve that. So obviously the money will come up then, that's when it comes in. But as in setting a figure, because I feel like when I get to that, say like I did set a figure for the end of the year, I got to in October, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So what?
I don't get that.
So
I don't understand
for
why
me,
people
it's
say
like, that's
that.
what I got. Wait, it's like, did Daniela freeze? Or did I freeze?
No, she said,
You're-
no, you froze, big man.
you're
You
frozen
froze. Go on,
now.
You're
Daniela.
frozen now.
Hey, don't throw shade at
No,
Daniela.
it looks mad
Don't
as
you know
well.
Daniela? She's the boss, bruv. Daniela's the boss, bruv. Daniela, go and boss this situation,
You got a
please.
nice still of you now, actually.
The still is funny.
No, I know that's actually jokes. Still,
That's like a meme.
someone screenshot this. I'm screenshotting this.
Yeah,
now,
so yeah, screenshot the skill, yeah,
screenshotting this
screenshot
now.
that.
I'm screenshotting this now. Let me get a Word document, bruv. I need to post this somewhere, bro.
Oh gosh.
Sorry, go on, Daniela. Go
Well,
on,
no, what I was saying was I don't understand. I've had this conversation with a few of my clients as well, where they've said, well, if I set the goal and then I hit the goal before the time, then what do I do? Then you set a new one. I don't really
Yeah.
understand why
Why
it's
stop?
it has to be one or the other. You set the goal, when you hit it, now we set a new one. If we got to that one too quickly, then clearly it wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
Now I'm the host. Okay, great.
Yeah, she's the boss, yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't big enough, so that means just set a bigger one. So if the goal was by the end of the year to turn over, I don't know, or to make 20K in specific sales, and you did it in October, then clearly you were supposed to have set it for 40K. So now the
Yeah.
next goal
Yeah.
is 40K,
Yeah,
and
you
that's
got 10x that.
I 100% agree with that, Daniela.
Yeah. And also I think you shouldn't be defined by a goal, because some goals you meet and some goals you don't meet. So if, as you said, Daniela, if you meet a goal in November and you're like, oh, what do I do now? That's because you've been defined by that goal. Or if you don't meet the goal, you feel rubbish and think, oh, like I failed in life. And it's really, don't be defined by your goals. Your goals are there to help you get to that end place, but yeah, don't be defined by it, because goals can get missed. Goals, you can get goals straight away, hole in one, or you can like do a scattergun approach. It just depends, but yeah, don't be defined by goals, but have goals to kind of help you and lead you to what you want to do, really.
But yeah, I think really goals are, as much as you have a lot of the time an end date for a goal is more like a direction of travel.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
This quarter, I haven't hit all of the goals that I set for this quarter, but in reviewing and looking at the lessons learned, looking at the systems, looking at the relationships that were built, etc., it's saying, okay, well, I'm still in the right direction. So now I just need to sit, regroup, work out what do I need to do in the next quarter to try and hit that. So, and when I set them in January, I set really big goals. I didn't think, weird. It's like I thought I could achieve it, but it wasn't. If I don't achieve it, it's the end of the world. If I don't achieve it by the end of the first quarter, I need to work out what do I need to do to make sure by the end of the second quarter that I am in a
do it.
Yeah, and you know,
I agree.
You know, I've noticed for myself last year, because I was obviously in work for 12 whole months there. I noticed for Michael, that was a bit peak for you, innit?
I was like, what? I thought you guys are frozen. I was like, wait, what? It doesn't make sense for everyone else to freeze, and I'm not. I looked at phone and I was like, well, that's not an attractive way to freeze, is it? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Download the picture.
It's mad for you.
I don't know, my internet just had a little blip. Good thing is you guys continued, which was wicked. So I love that. I heard what you guys were saying as well. I need to touch on the thing, so I'll make it clear what I was saying as well before. It's not a case of obviously you reach the goal and then you're like, oh, then what? What I was trying to say is I don't set the goal for that year, because it's what I'm trying to achieve in that year it's for something bigger.
Mm.
Obviously, once you've achieved it, then I'll move on to the next stage of that blah blah. But I focus more on the long term rather than the short term. Let's say the yearly goals or whatever is more like a sub kind of deadline or sub like target sort of thing, just to mark off to say, okay, I'll reach that bit. But it's something that you're doing in the future. So for me now, the way, even though I don't have any children or anything like that, my whole mindset is that's what I'm planning for when I have kids and I'm starting a family and everything like that. So I can't just have the kids and then be like, all right, let me try and start planning to do what I need to do. I need to start building that from now, and it'll be a lot easier because like even things like what's called with kids and stuff like that, I don't want to be into the stage where my kids come home from school and I'm coming home from work about 7, 8 or something like that. Like, I already know, for me personally, that's not what I want. So I need to put in the work now. So then by the time I get to that, I can be there with my kids. If that's one of my goals, because everyone's gonna have different goals. So that's what I mean with there's not a money element to that. In terms of like you set a goal to make this much money, so that can happen. It's just a goal that you're working towards. So that's why I'm saying sometimes you can't have an amount that I'm trying to plan to and things like that, especially with goals like that. I hope that explained it a bit better. and I didn't freeze this time or anything, so that was.
It's true. It's interesting, but it depends, like, because obviously, and I guess this kind of transitions us to some extent to one of the points you wanted to raise today with us, which is around like how the first 3 months have been. But I guess I agree with that, and obviously, but to some extent, there is the argument to be made that if you have a goal for achievement, acquisition, or expansion. Right, I'm gonna have to write this down. Anyway, a goal for achievement, acquisition, or expansion that focuses on something specific, then you got to consider the financial resource required. So what I mean is, I look at, for example, my first 3 months in one of my businesses, and I knew from the start, from end of last year, all right, I need to build a team in this business in it. I need to therefore be able to have either this much capital or this much cash flow to then be able to hire. And having made 2 hires in the last quarter, basically, I was grateful because I knew that I needed to do a certain amount of business to do that, right? To make those hires. But then also I look at it in terms of, let's say you did have a goal to acquire a property this year. From the standpoint of affordability and all those kinds of things, you would therefore need to account for your financial goal to make sure you're patterned for that, innit? So I think, that's where those things do come in, because then you start being a bit more strategic with like, okay, how do I, if you're someone who is entrepreneurial or has a business or whatever, if you're someone who works and has a business or whatever, you start thinking, okay, how do I balance if you're someone who works, for example, income plus my self-assessment plus this, for me, it's okay, how do I balance self-employed income plus the income from my businesses, and when to draw dividends, when to raise my salary, all those kinds of things, you get what I'm saying? So it's interesting because you do then have to factor in the finance, because the focus is not just to say I made money. I think we're all aware that like money's a made up thing in it, and so therefore money is just a resource that we're using to be able to do certain things in life. So when your focus therefore becomes, I am using money as a vehicle to get me to do this, such as create jobs, such as get a property, such as whatever, then you start going, no, actually, I do need to be a bit more focused on the financial goals, which I'm not always the best example of, because I'll have very clear financial goals and I'll do all the right things. Then I'll just take hella long to send off invoices. Like sometimes I mention it in passing with my girlfriend. She'll be like, what? You're still doing that? I'll be like, bro, I'm not going to lie. I think my business is owed about 8K right now. And she'll be like, what? Are you taking the piss? I'll be like, sorry, man. It's just something I just forget, man. It's just long in it. But anyway,
you don't want to get paid.
I know, I need to stop that, bro. It's bad. And it's funny. It gets to the point where companies run me down like, fam, are you taking a piss? Where's the invoice, bro? Like, do you get what I'm saying? They're like, where's the invoice? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, we've been holding this money for you for like 3 months. I'm like, oh yeah, let me get around to that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I will change your invoices. Give me 10%.
A lot of people offered me that, I mentioned it in passing to my mum one time. She was on me. She was like, what? Give me the access to all your stuff. I'll do your invoices. Don't worry about that.
Money to dash away. Must be that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'll get one of the juniors to do bookkeeping for you. All right. I'll send you a quote.
Do you know what it is? It's not that I'm not good at doing it being on point, yeah. is I'm very particular with how I like to do things. If I'm not sitting down to do the invoices in line with looking at my finances, in line with this, in line with that, then I just don't get around to it. Whereas obviously I could just in the moment, in the midst of doing emails, let me just quickly send this invoice. But I don't know, innit? Sometimes I just slack, and then a month will go by and I'm like, Ralph, I haven't even sent off the last 4 invoices, bro. Like, anyway.
Get a quote sent out to you, bro. Don't worry.
It's your way of telling us you're doing financially very, very well.
Not even. Well,
must be that.
Sorry, I can't lie, but do you get what I mean? But sometimes it's just nonchalance, probably, isn't it? I don't know, bro. But anyway.
Well, bringing it back, how was you guys the last 3 months? Any highlights? Anything you learned?
Oh yes. I have a highlight. I'm not gonna say what it is because I need to be professional, but I was very happy, and I thought to myself, I'm finally unleashed. I can finally do what I want to do.
Wow!
You know what I'm talking about. So I was like, yes, cool. So essentially, to be real with you, the goals I have for this year are kind of what I'm doing now is building up to it. So before I came on here, I thought to myself, like, this year I haven't done what I wanted to do, obviously, because as Mike said too, there's a bigger goal at the end of the day and at the end of the year too. So I was like, I haven't done much for it, but I'm like, actually, Jonas, you're setting up for the stuff you want to do at the end of the year. You're making the connections that you want to make at the end of the year. You're doing the right stuff, but it's just slow right now. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the speeches and stuff, and people are saying we're going to pay you to do this and that and the other. But I want to do that kind of stuff now, not to get paid, but just to be improving. But then I said to myself, actually, Jonas, when you deep it, there's so many companies that you've got connections with now that when you were 17 and you started your career in 2019, you were dreaming to work and do stuff with these companies and volunteer with them. And you didn't think that you'd get those kind of opportunities. So to be real, I was like, okay, I got to be grateful actually, because I'm working with, not even working for, I'm working with as my brand with so many companies that are amazing at what they do in the youth sector and stuff like that. I should be grateful for being a part of it because, for example, I do stuff with the NCS, for example. Lewis obviously knows because he did a workshop there. I didn't do NCS in summer when I left school. When I left school, I was like, mate, I'm playing video games, I'm playing basketball, I ain't doing no NCS thing. I'm not going intense and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, I was like, I should have done it still. I should have done it. But then, so from that point, I'd always hear people talking about the NCS, saying how good it was. So I remember I was on a podcast early this year and they were talking about, all of them were talking about it. And I was just there, I couldn't say nothing because I haven't done it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get everybody on NCS on LinkedIn right now. So I followed all the staff members from LinkedIn from the NCS. And then one of them texted me and said, we got this opportunity. You can be part of our Youth Voice Forum. So then I signed up and I got it. And I'm one of the only people that didn't graduate and done the NCS before. That's just one thing that's happened. But I need to start being grateful for that because I'm doing my reviews, but because I'm not actually doing public speaking and stuff, which is obviously the main aspect of my brand, I'm not thinking, oh, Jonas, you've done this, you've done that. I've even been doing a social media campaign, but I'm not thinking about that kind of stuff because I'm focused on something else. And that's why, again, reviewing is so important because I'm not the type of person to beat myself up about stuff. I'm just like, I'm not going to I ain't got time for that. I'm just going to step up. I don't need to beat myself up or get upset about it. But I think I was getting to a point where when the question came, I said to myself, what have you actually done, Jonas? But then stopping and reflecting, I was like, okay, in hindsight, I have done quite a lot. And you got to plan first and set stuff up so that you got a good, what's the word? You're stable, basically. Like it's like a house. When you're building a house, you've got to be stable. So if a hurricane comes, obviously the house will get wrecked in a hurricane. But let's say it's a strong house. Nothing, like, damage won't be done that deep in it, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Certain men are building houses with hemp and that now, fam. Apparently, them hemp houses are holding strong, bro.
What's that nursery thing with the wolf that blew the house, the straw house?
Straw and that,
yeah. That's why I think it's so important to do a self-review because you actually realize what you've actually done in the year. Like what you were saying, Jonas, you thought like what I've actually done, and then doing that review made you think, actually, I've done quite a lot. I've done quite well. And sometimes if you don't have that opportunity to review, you actually could beat yourself up about certain things and think you haven't achieved much, where actually you've done amazing, you've done great. So that self-review is so important. This for kind of your peace of mind and your mental aspect as well, because all of us, we can see social media's all out there. You can see people doing so much and making so much, and you think, I haven't done nothing. Like, when actually, as you said, when you deepen, you think, actually, I've done quite a bit here. Like, good on you. And so, yeah, self-review is so important. It's really important. And just going back to your question about last 3 months, like, it's been hectic for me. So I recently sold my house. Who sells the house in the pandemic? I don't know, but we did it.
Well done to you. Well done.
Well done.
It is crazy. But now I'm at my dad's house, and it's even like all of that kind of mayhem and chaos and everything, and kind of the financial aspect of it, and seeing how my expenses have kind of changed, gone up and gone down as a result of like not having a house and stuff like that. So it's even important now for me to kind of look ahead and think, actually, like, where I am now, what can I do in the future to achieve certain goals? And so, yeah, it's so important just to see what you've done, because there's so much that can be done and what has been done, and we just don't really appreciate it. Like, the day can fly by, you just don't really appreciate what you've done. So yeah, it's so important. So important.
Anyone else got highlights?
Yeah, well, I don't even know. The whole 3 months have been highlights, isn't it?
Your life's been a movie recently. I can't lie, Michael. Your life's been a movie.
When was it? When was the engagement? January?
That's how it started, yeah.
Yeah. He's been winning this year, you know.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the engagement was first. But then in terms of like business and everything, is that when I'm looking back, because a lot of things is like, okay, once I've done something, I tick it off the list. It's like, it's done. I don't really, and I know Caroline always moans about this, but I don't really take time to celebrate it or nothing like that. It's done. Move on to the next thing now. Because I'm already thinking of something. I'm thinking of 5 years from now. So when it's like, oh, this went really well, man. I can't believe this. I was like, yeah. It's not in an arrogant way, but it's like, yeah, I knew it was going to go well because I'm planning for, this is what I'm aiming for. So it went well for what it was meant to do, where I am right now. So, but yeah, the last 3 months, I think everything's just picked up, like tripled in terms of like business is being good, ideas and stuff that we're doing have been good. And then it's like even for the last 5 weeks, or 6 weeks if I include the workshop yesterday, but the last 5 weekends, I've been delivering like financial education workshops to young people. Thank you. And we aimed it at 14 to 18-year-olds. And each week we had over 100 young people on it as well each week. And I did that with
That's hard.
I don't know if you guys know, but Young Spender on Nikita on Instagram. That's what her name is. But that one there blew up more than we thought it was going to blow up. Because I remember when we was talking, it was like, yeah, we'll probably get about 30 young people on. And then that would be it. And then obviously that went to 100. And then it was a case of, oh, this worked better than we thought it was. And then obviously then schools started getting in touch with us, or like youth organizations asking us to come in. So that added to what we was doing. But at the same time, we're obviously working as well. And then I've got the other business, which is the accountancy side that was going on. And then I've got the charity, and I switched roles. That was the second thing that I think that happened.
Oh yeah.
When was that? February?
That was January.
So
them elections were in January, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So we had the elections for the boards in January. So before I was on the board as the finance board member, so vice president of finance. But because the vision I have for the charity is a lot bigger than just the finance area, and where we can take it, I thought I needed to be in a role where I have more control about what's going on within the organization. So I think I went for the vice president of operations. I got that, but I went into it. I'll be honest, I went into that naively. I was like, yeah, no, I got time for all this. Oh my goodness! When I jumped into that role, I was like, what? My goodness. But the good thing is, from my side, is because one of the things I wanted to kind of get into a bit more was doing like project management, things like that. This role is basically project management.
Oh, you're managing 75 projects. How about that? Do you get what I'm saying? Mike got slapped with about a million Gantt charts and realized it's not a joke. Do you get what I'm saying? Man saw a million Gantt charts and saw 75 lists on Trello and said, what?
Well, I jumped into the role thinking that everything was calm. As in, like, people have been doing what they're meant to be doing over the years and stuff like that. And then I looked and I just went, we haven't done anything the right way for quite a while. I got
since inception and that.
I said, to the rest of the world, it looks amazing. And what we're doing, the services that we're providing is amazing. But in terms of, if you're going from like let's say if you're going from like a charity to, then you're trying to turn it into like a business, not a business, but a big business. Charity.
Not even that, bruv. If you're going from like a hobby, like a little like part-time, just you and your brethren linking up, that's what we're actually, when you think about the standard of the processes, that's where we're going from.
I can't even say it like that. Because
that's a violation, bro.
What? Bruv, I'm saying it with chess. Someone at me. Someone at 100 at me, please.
Hold on. The reason I can't let you do that, obviously, because the 100's been around for 20 years, isn't it? And they've been doing madness in the community.
No, but I'm saying work output, phenomenal. Can't question it. Yeah. I'm talking about internal processes is level with a passion project.
Yeah, that's everyone. Nobody's got their systems and processes sorted from what I can tell. Like it's
no. You got the big Oxfam like who are stealing money off people and claiming to be a charity. They've got their internal processes on point. So that's what I was trying to say. If we're trying to get to a level where we actually going to do something for the community through like a charity kind of thing, and be self-sufficient, so we don't need to get money from like outside or nothing like that. We're self-sufficient with our businesses that we've got within it. Amen. Obviously, taking to that level, there's got to be a whole change within the thing. 100%. So to do that, it's going to take. It's like I don't know if you guys ever watched Suits, but I remember there was one time that Jessica was saying that to basically build the business up, it was like she had to get the ship from the bottom of the ocean and literally drag it to the top. And she was saying she doesn't know if she has the same energy to be able to do that. But obviously, I've got energy at the moment, but that's where it is now. It's like we're at in terms of processes, it's at the bottom, and we're trying to build it up. So if we're looking now forward thinking for the next 3 months, I kind of know what I need to do for the next 3 months, and then not to do for the rest of the year. But again, even with this, I'm not thinking that now. I'm thinking I know where this needs to be in 5 years' time, in terms of the size of it, and like we're trying to get our own building as well, which is going to take a big push. And I don't want it in somewhere like not to say that anywhere is rubbish, but I want it a central London place.
Oh, why not Lewisham?
That's a.
You say why not Lewisham?
It's not going Lewisham, bro. Sorry.
Come home. Come to where it's at. Come to where it's at. Come to where it's at.
The only time I do something like a Lewisham, is if we had some next Wakanda looking building.
Oh no!
We got that.
We got some mad buildings.
Near Lewisham Station's gone mad, bro. Gentrification's serving us on a mad thing, fam. Yeah, don't play with us.
No, I don't think so, man. I've only got Lewisham to get some rice and sometimes. What's that restaurant?
Enish.
Well, Enish, that thing's paying in it. Enish.
Hey, listen. They got an Enish in Dubai now, you know. That's how you know Enish is clear, bruv. Don't play with
Enish.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot. So I know what we're trying to do. But for me, it's a statement. Like the whole Black Panther movie was a statement. The whole what we're trying to do here is a statement. So that building that we're getting is a statement. Okay, and given something within our community that we don't do as much. Well, we do it when it's individual things, but we don't do it as a community as much as our ownership. We don't own these buildings that are around it. We're sending our children to school but we don't own this. We have no rights to these buildings or anything. So the statement that we would make if we came out and were the first charity to come out and say, this is our building. And we've got businesses within that building and everything like that.
That's a big deal.
So that's what we're trying to get to. But the thing is, the good thing about all of this, though, it helps me as well, because then it builds my experiences, my skills, and everything like that. That can tie in. But because I know I want to finish in 10 minutes time, what about you guys? What you got planned for the next 3 months? No one. End it.
No. I have.
Nah, I feel like the ladies have got something strong. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is definitely. Mine always goes back to work. So I just want to continue do you know what? I have started the year really, really strong. So I'm just going to continue on that same vibe, to be fair. And for me, it's super, super important because 2 years ago, whoever knows me will know that like I didn't have much. You know, I was paycheck to paycheck, you know, literally no savings, nothing. So for me, it's super important that I'm having people come on board and that can do the same, or do well, I should say, just like myself. Never been in this sector. I used to do accounts and bookkeeping. So for me, yeah, I genuinely want to help people. And it's more so just for people to understand that you cannot have nothing and have something in a short space of time, but you need to put in the work. Like, you can't be afraid of hard work. You've got to have that hustling spirit as well. So I've got literally a team full of ladies. I've got one male at the moment. So, you know, it's, for me, the focus definitely the next 3 months is not so much of financial targets and sales. Of course, that's nice, but it's about building more people up to my level. So I am a leader within my industry. You know, I'm a strong female. So I just want to continue with that. I think that's definitely more the focus, and just including my children a little bit more in the business. You know, my son does my admin, he's 14 years old. Just letting them be a part of it, because I want my kids to be entrepreneurs. That I want them to understand that, you know, you don't have to go that straight and narrow way. That's what my mum made me do. She made me do accounts and bookkeeping and all of these types of things when really I wanted to do fashion. So I don't want to be that mother. So I definitely want to involve them a little bit more so they feel like they're part of the process. So those are definitely more my focus for the next few months.
I also started the year quite strong, but I feel like in the next quarter, I need to take it down a little bit. The last couple of weeks, I've just been really tired, and I've been kind of packing my diary more than I can really manage. So in the next quarter, really for me, it's kind of organization, processes, but also continuing with profile building. So I know that the stuff that I do works. I know that the clients that I work with, I help them to get results. So it's really for me in the next quarter to work out what the best strategies are for really communicating that to people, and raising my profile so that people know there is this person here that runs this business that is having this impact on all these other businesses. Because right now I feel like kind of behind the scenes, and I've had clients doing some phenomenal things this year. One of the business I've been working with for a few years has just called me a couple of days ago to say, they're a community interest company. When we started working together, they were doing like £700 a month. She called to say in May they're going to be doing 7 figures. So for me, I need to work out how do I take those kind of results and put them out so people know that I was involved in those processes, but also find time to relax and chill and kind of regroup rather than burning myself into the ground. Because as was said earlier, health is wealth. So
Amen.
Amen.
Daniela, you've been definitely moving crazy.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. Obviously, I only met Daniela in January via the podcast. Is when I met Daniela via the podcast. But I'm like, bro, Daniela's been on smoke, bro. All I've seen on Instagram is Daniela. I love it.
That's good.
That's why every time she jumps in one of my lives, the first thing I say is, bro, make sure you're not following She's the Boss UK.
Yeah.
As soon as if she jumps in, I'm like, yo, make sure you don't know. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Thank you. No, I'm trying. I just need to do it in different places, not just Instagram. That's what I'm trying to think about. How do we do it? Not on Clubhouse though, because I realize I don't like it very much there.
Do you know what? Business has boomed from Clubhouse. I don't know what it is.
Loud.
I know it. Do you know what I don't like is that I can't see facial expressions. That winds me up.
I don't know when I'm supposed to talk, when I'm not supposed to talk. I'm trying to watch this grey thing. Like, is it my Can I speak now? Saying that I'm on Clubhouse on Monday at
Okay, I'll definitely jump in.
Hey, Jonas is funny, bro. Speaking of Clubhouse, though, I've been slacking, bro. I literally bought an iPad 3 weeks ago, yeah,
Just
for the sole purpose of making sure I can get on Clubhouse because my old iPad, I didn't realize how old it was. Do you think I've even opened the box, fam? I haven't even opened the box, bro.
No, do
I'm
it.
looking at the box now, bro. I haven't even opened the box.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
No, I think you can make a lot of connections on there. I'm for Clubhouse, to be honest.
You know what? I was gonna talk something out so I can jump in it, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna miss this wave.
You have to get on it, bro.
Get on it. It doesn't need to be as like, you don't need to be intense with it.
See, my thing is like, I'm willing to go on there and maybe do something once a week, but then I'm like, but out of respect, for the respect of any social media platform, you also need to participate. So it's not just about me saying, hey guys, come to my room. I need to actually go to other people's rooms and contribute. And that's the bit that I'm like, that's long. But I don't have it on in the background. Yeah.
I kind of thought that, but there is some really interesting rooms, and I don't mean those really. There's some really annoying ones as well, and I think let me come out this. Some stupid ones, dating, some really mix-up ones as well.
Yeah,
just like, I'm not involved. Yeah. If it's business, it's solely business for me. That's it.
I saw Mike Zuckerberg in a Clubhouse 2 days ago. That's the first time I've ever seen a Clubhouse room locked off. I tried to get in there. 8K people. Everyone was there. It was so packed that there was another Clubhouse saying Mark Zuckerberg is on Clubhouse! ! That's how mad it was. People are fans, I swear. It's Mike Zuckerberg, but Mark Zuckerberg. But I was like, you're doing too much for that with that extra room talking about him on Clubhouse.
People love it, boy.
Wasn't Elon Musk on there as well? I'm sure. Elon Musk was on there, yeah.
Man, I know we got to wrap up, so I'll quickly say I think for me next 3 months is two things. One is similar to something Daniela mentioned actually, which is I don't actually talk much about everything that I'm doing. Sometimes when I think about it, I'll be like, so I'm doing some mad projects with some mad clients, or I'm leading hella deeper movements and things, and I'm like, I don't really talk about this much. Do you get what I'm saying? I'll put out content online, but none of the content is really like, oh hey, here's what I'm up to now. It's always content to help people. And I need to do more of that. And the other thing I've realized is for a couple of the new programs that I've rolled out this year, I need to productize them. I need to make some of those services feel like products. So I need to productize a couple of things. So I think for me, the next 3 months is about productizing some services and trying to actually shine a spotlight on active projects. So yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's more like launching Asia Ambition properly, making sure that we start Asia Ambition this year in 10 years' time when it's a household name, and just impacting people that much that people are telling their parents, you got to know about Asia Ambition, they're doing this, that, and the other. So that's that. And then also, again, the Health is Wealth campaign sorted out. And then, Mike, you know what else? We got that meeting in a few days. We got to sort out that thing, innit? Got to sort it out.
Keep it quiet for now.
Yeah, keep it quiet for now.
Everyone will know soon, don't worry. It's going to be a madness there.
Yeah. Just to add mine, so for me it's kind of to grow the penny drop. So I just started in February, so relatively new to this, but just growing it and increasing my outreach, just doing training sessions. Really, my passion is to help young people manage money, understand money, and that's like my goal, my desire is really getting out there, running workshops, training people, teaching people, and letting people know that there's more to life than what you learn at school, because it does so much. So that's my aim, really, to kind of get out there with the penny drops.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll be reaching out to you as well, because this was an interview for today.
Oh wow!
Just to see how
this guy's funny.
And the thing is, do you know what's annoying me? He's singing around in his chair like this, like some evil master. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is an interview for today. Like, bro, relax, bro. Sit still, bro. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
No, that's why it's because I do, as you guys do. I do like
the boss is the boss man.
I'm the boss man, but I do like to collaborate with people, especially when I can see that we're all trying to do well, not all of us do the same thing, but when people are trying to do the same thing, I do like work with them, because I don't see why I would just try to attack something myself. It's good.
Mm.
It's harder if we're collaborating on doing things together and stuff like that. And that's another reason why money is not focused for me as much, because there's plenty of money out there for us to build.
Exactly.
That's it, yeah.
So yeah. So I was joking, but I wasn't joking. Like I wanted to see if you came on and all serious, I was like, nah, I can't work with this one.
I know that.
Yeah, so if we can vibe, then it's good.
I got 1-2 jokes, don't worry.
Yeah, okay, that's looking. For anyone who's watching, the song just dropped. I might even have to play it a little bit. No.
Play it. Come on.
Let everyone go on YouTube.
Yeah, come on.
What I do, I'll play a little bit, the start of it.
Let's hear it.
We finish your finance.
Oh, wait.
Is Lewis on the feature for the next one?
Oh, it's not out yet. We've got 1 minute 14 seconds apparently.
Oh.
I beg you, get Lewis on the next one though. I want to hear his bars. I had an Arsenal top for 7 years. I didn't change it.
You're taking
Jonas has lost his mind, you know. This guy, bro. Now, Mike can't afford me on a feature, fam. Do you know what my feature fee is? Don't play with me, bro. What? You can't afford. Listen.
You can't cover my track. I only get good people on there, man.
No, Michael. Carnival next carnival. Find Lewis with his top off. He'll start rapping. He'll be off his head.
Bro.
Put that in the video.
Carnival's the only time of the year.
That's for the that's for quarter 3. There might be a carnival this year, you know.
No. Carnival this year won't be proper, so I can't call it carnival, bro. If I don't feel concrete under my foot, I don't want to hear it. If they try and put it in a park, I don't want to hear it.
Is that what they're doing? Putting it in a park?
I don't know, but I'm just saying I can't imagine they'll just let it be on road, because what they'll be, bro, there's gonna be a million of us out there, fam. They can't have that.
It's gonna be control it. The next carnival's gonna be mad.
Maybe next year then.
What? 2 years? 2 years? No, wait. Next carnival there'll be 2 years of missed soca at plus 20. Get out of here, bro. Listen, carnival's gonna need to be a week. It's gonna need to be a week. How about that? I need to have 2 days for the 2020 we missed, then another 2 days for the 2021, then we get on 2 days for 2022, and then we need another day just to be able to say bye to everyone, because we're going to be finished. That's what it's Listen, I always tell people I'm professional 363 days a year.
Oh, it's out.
Couple rhythms.
Little garage tune.
But how can these man be? Them man are doing garage, but these man were brought up. There was no garage in their time, fam. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to get peace, stacked up with my family. That's Anthony, and that be my key. That's King B, Michael Xavier. Money like whoa.
Flow's kind of cold though. The flow's kind of cold though.
Sort your finance and help you get broke like whoa. Your financial journey is important. Don't forget.
Hey, who produced this? Who did the rhythm?
Manage your income, please be smart. Just don't go for you regret.
Yeah, Mike's in the track, bro. Look at him. He's loving it.
It's proper old school.
Yeah.
He took it way back.
Mike, who produced the instrumental?
Just found the track.
See. I thought that was.
Each time what happens is I'll come out and I'll be like, hey, releasing a song. We're releasing a song next week, or we're gonna do a song, whatever it's gonna be, and it's gonna be around this. So usually, like the first one was Generational Wealth. So I'll go to my brother. I say, yeah, we're doing a song on Generational Wealth. He'll find the beat. He'll be like, I'll come back with a beat, and then by the time he comes back with a beat, I would have written down all the words that have to appear in that song. So Generational Wealth, I was saying different ways you can build generational wealth. He takes it, comes back, and he's like, yeah, I've written a song. So this time, my brother already does music anyway. My other brother already does music. So I did the same thing with him. But the thing is, because he does music already and he can write bars, literally I said to him, yeah, I need this song. Man he was in my house, went to the kitchen, come back 15 minutes later, I said, yeah, I've got the song done. Let's go. And I was like, what? Man, I just came up with the song just like that. But I always said from the start, the next one's got to be a garage beat.
Yeah.
It's got to be a garage beat. That's my favorite type of music. So of
course, bruv.
To be a garage
Showing
beat.
your age.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that man don't come on the next one. Heartless. You know what I'm saying? Whatever gonna come with an anthem, blood. You get what I'm saying? Man comes through some Bo Selector thing, you know what I mean? But with a little bit of luck, we can
make it through the night.
With a little bit of finances, we can with a little cash flow forecast, we can make it. With a little P and L, we can manage our finances.
That's the thing as well. These ones here as well. We had to do something. Obviously, the people that we're trying to help the most are the young people. So obviously, doing something that they can relate to as well keeps it a bit fun, and then we just get them to start doing things as well, writing their own songs and blah blah. But at the end of the day, that's.
No, but them man, you got to use sound effects and that. Don't you know? Most of these big rappers now, they're just doing ad libs, bruv. Like, what's this brother? Back Row G. The guy just raps in ad libs, you know. That's what he does, bruv. That's what he does, bruv. The guy just raps in sound effects. Do you get
What? Like,
yeah,
like Pop Smoke in it.
yeah.
All right, man. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. This one was a bit. It was actually quite jokes. We had a bit from me freezing and getting kicked out of my own Zoom. I don't know how.
We got evidence for that.
Yeah.
I know you
There were
guys.
screenshots.
Lads. But I hope everyone that's been on the live today has learned something. Knows to obviously do reviews, understands how we do our own reviews because everyone's different.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone's had a good time that's come on.
Yeah,
We'll be
definitely.
We're actually
I've learned a lot myself, to be fair, from
Okay.
others. So yeah.
wicked. I'll be back next week Sunday. Usually the podcasts are every 2 weeks, but there's another announcement I've got, so I'm going to be doing live for
This is
that.
getting too much now, these announcements.
Hey, you know what?
Bruv, you need to be careful. He might announce that it's Penny Drops and KBM doing a thing, fam. You don't even know yet. That could be the announcement.
Yeah, it was.
You don't even know. But no, basically what I'm trying to do, I'm getting married in June. I'm trying to do madness before June, so then I can take a month off and not do any work, do anything.
Really chill. Mhm.
Yeah.
Enjoy marriage
Oh,
life.
that wedding's gonna be mad though. Oh my god.
Proper weddings next year though. Like obviously we've got the registry and traditions this year, but with restrictions, we can't do as many. But next year is the one where we're gonna like go big.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
that's all right, fam.
us Africans, like it's a bit mad at our wedding, so
Fam,
telling you.
Mike's doing the right thing, fam. He's giving us enough time to get the dollars so we can start throwing money on the head, fam. Come on, fam. We're gonna be ready to throw money on the head, fam. It's okay, fam.
Praying.
We're ready, fam.
That's why I need that. That's why I need that second big wedding next year.
Yeah, come on, bro.
I'm ready
Pounds and dollars. You get what I'm saying? Pounds and dollars.
That's why I'm ready about money now. I'm just waiting to
and Michael, I beg you take us Lagos for it though. Take us Lagos for that.
come in, yeah.
Jonas said, "Take us," like as if to say he's not paying for himself. What?
Take us Lagos. Like
Jonas just said he's launching his business, yeah, and then he's talking about take me Lagos. Big man.
Lewis, don't stop because I want you to take me St. Lucia for yours. So don't get started.
No, man said take me St. Lucia. Well, how about you go and be at British Airways? Start there. Do you get what I'm saying?
Worse. But yeah, amazing. So watch out for the live next week. That's not going to be the Finesse My Finance podcast. That's just a live with. Well, you guys will find out tomorrow anyway. The announcement's coming out tomorrow. But yeah, and what else? In 2 weeks' time, we're doing another Finesse My Finance podcast. That one is going to be called Faith and Finances.
Amazing.
Hope to see you guys next week and the week after that as well. And we'll announce what other podcasts are coming to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to log off the live now. So
Thank you, Michael.